The Nigerian Guild of Editors left a marker in national discourse on how journalism should be practiced, the road less traveled, and how the fourth estate of the realm should conduct its business. On special report.
Enugu State in southeast Nigeria, the focus of attention as the media executives and leading editors came together for the 2025 Guild of Editors Biennial National Conference, plus the election of new executives to take the reins for the next couple of years. Truth and accuracy form part of the ideals leaders of the Guild encourage members to stand by, with accountability on the part of the government of the day.
Could the media have done more to promote dialogue?
The president of the Guild, Mr. Eze Anaba, believes urgent action is needed to address the current decimal of insecurity in certain parts of the country.
Insecurity has regrettably become a defining feature of our national discourse. The nature of these challenges may differ across the regions, but their severity is felt everywhere. The reality compels us to ask hard questions. Could the media have done more to promote dialogue and inclusion, essential tools for conflict prevention? Are we perhaps sometimes guilty of amplifying fear and sensationalism? Are we presenting all sides of the story fairly? More importantly, how can we as journalists and editors contribute constructively to the peace-building process in our country?
Building a secure and cohesive Nigeria, the role of dialogue, inclusion and the media is the theme for 2025. It's so chosen to propagate the media's role in strengthening democracy in Nigeria. The chairman of the convention and chairman of Channels Media Group, Dr. John Momo, speaks on the current role of the media in shaping the national discourse.
We must listen to those who feel forgotten. We must bring them into the national conversation. Because nation building is not just about unity, it's about empathy. And healing begins with being heard.
The chairman elaborates on the way forward, challenging editors and journalists to raise the standards, commit to inclusion, pursue truth and justice, and help shape a better Nigeria.
Let's be honest, we don't just report the news. We shape public opinion. We influence national mood. We help people to make sense of the world around them. That is power. And with that power comes responsibility. So let's talk about the first thing, dialogue. Dialogue is not just about talking, it's about listening and truly listening. As journalists and editors, we must create space for real conversation across divides, between the young and the old, between communities, between governments and the governed. Let's not only report conflict, let us also spotlight the solutions. Let's promote understanding. Let's be bridge builders. And let's talk about inclusion. Inclusion is not about ticking boxes, it's about real representation. Too many people still feel invisible, too many voices still go unheard. Women, youth, persons with disabilities, ethnic minorities, they all deserve a seat at the table.
The fathers of the day and renowned journalist, former governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba, and the former chairman of the NDDC, Chief Onyema Ugochukwu, share their views on security and journalism standards.
And I want to thank one of you for still keeping the profession alive, for keeping our image alive, for doing everything to make this profession a successful profession. And I can tell you, all over the world, we editors of Nigeria are one of the best that we can think about. And I'm not trying to please you because I've been a director of the International Press Institute for about 10 years in the 70s. And every year we review performances of editors all over the world. And Nigeria, in spite of all our challenges, we have been rated as one of the best in the world. So I want to thank you for keeping the flag flying. In our old age, you are one of those that has kept us alive and happy. And I want to thank my colleagues. For example, I can tell you, the Sun newspaper gets to me around midnight every day. And the Guardian comes in about 12:30 every day. And Vanguard will follow about 3 o'clock in the morning. And this day will now come at about 5. Before I wake up in the morning, I've read most of the Nigerian newspaper. You are very, very digital and very, very modern. May God continue to bless you. May you have a successful conference as we have always had. And may God continue to give you the strength to carry on. I'm happy we have the keynote speaker in the DG SSS. I hope all of us will learn to cooperate because security is me and you. When I was young in Lagos, security was reduced to even the street. If somebody steals Governor Ba's will cover overnight, there are people in the street, in the area, who they know who to order to summon them. How dare you speak and steal Governor Ba's will cover? Immediately the will cover will be produced because security was down to the lowest level.
I want to commend the Guild for sustaining this association the way they have done over the years. It used to be in those days that every few years the Guild will lapse into coma and then it will get revived. But they have sustained this journey for, I think, 35 years now. It hasn't been broken, and the Guild is growing stronger and stronger. I congratulate you and thank you. I know that where you are operating, the journalism itself is in a very difficult situation. I want to thank the journalists for standing in the trenches and defending journalism and promoting it in very difficult circumstances. When the economy goes down and people have to adjust their expenditures, one of the first things they cut is the newspaper before they cut food. And we have gone through a long-term period of difficulties. It has impacted on you severely. Sales will go down, advertising will go down. You are under pressure economically. You are under pressure from even the people in power. When I say the people in power, I don't mean only the government or our guest speaker today, even the advertisers in the private sector put you under pressure. Like I see these days, they have even taken over our front pages with advertisements of themselves and their achievement. The front page, if you look at the papers, they don't look like what they used to be. But I think it's the pressure that comes from that you are facing. It's difficult. I want to commend you for keeping up. The competition you face also in this difficult time comes from non-press people. Every Nigerian with a phone fancies himself to be a journalist or a broadcaster. They're competing with you for the news all the time. But you find where there has been an accident, instead of having the victims, everybody brings out his telephone and begins to broadcast. But what you find is that they will be saying, oh, what a tragedy, great tragedy. This tragedy has happened, and all that. So the performance actually helps to show that we still need you, the journalists, the professionals, to tell our story. So they are helping in that way. You keep up what you are doing. The Constitution gives you an assignment to hold government accountable. You also had your own self-assigned function to speak for the voiceless.
For the host governor, Mr. Peter Mba, he speaks on ways the media can continue to promote democracy with methods that have a positive impact.
You, the Nigerian press, have been a vital companion. You have been the lamp lighting our path and the mirror reflecting our evolving society. We're honored that you have chosen Enugu, a state reimagining its future, as your host. This gathering is not merely symbolic. It is a recognition of the progress we are making and the role the press continues to play in shaping Nigeria's destiny. Enugu is not just building roads, schools, and hospitals. We are restoring public trust. We are expounding the civic space and fostering robust dialogue. Because we know governance without inclusion is fragile, and democracy without scrutiny is hollow. This city has long been intertwined with the story of Nigerian journalism. Just a few steps from here once stood the offices of the West African Pilot, founded by Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, a publication that became a rallying cry for independence and truth. In every free society, the media does not cower behind power. It walks beside it, as both a conscience and a catalyst, as both witness and a watchdog. Today, the world is changing rapidly. We're not just experiencing an era of change. We're living through a change of an era. One defined by digital disruption, eroding public trust, and the rise of technologies like AI that can either empower or destabilize our civic discourse. At the same time, the traditional media faces shrinking revenue streams, declining copy sales, and growing competition from unregulated online voices. These pressures are real, but they make your mission to inform, to hold power accountable, to elevate truth more critical than ever. In such a moment, we must ask, how do we ensure the media remains not just a commentator on democracy, but one of its guarantors? The answer begins with both integrity and government support. Firstly, journalism must remain a space where truth is not compromised for sensation or political ends, where rigorous reporting triumphs. We need a media that is inclusive, that gives voice to the margins, that reflects the diversity of Nigeria's people, not one that dilutes or silences dissent. A press that excludes weakens democracy itself. And secondly, we believe accountability strengthens governance. That is why here in Enugu, we welcome scrutiny. We have opened our books, our processes, and our policies to public examination.
Part of the activities of the editors includes touring of the projects of the host governor, so they visit areas including the Niger Gas in Emene and the CNG buses at the Michael Okpara Square, and then to this conference room for an interaction with the governor.
Your vision for the state, I'd like to know how it addresses the challenges of urban growth. I'm asking this because once you start growing, you see people migrating from the communities into the cities. So do you have provision for that? And I'm talking in terms of public utilities, transportation, and while at the same time addressing infrastructural growth in the communities so that they are not left out of this growth.
The governor answers questions and promises to do even more.
Part of what we're experiencing in Enugu is actually the other way around, where we have quite a lot of people from the urban migrating to the rural area. And that is largely because the style of leadership we have here is all-inclusive. We're not leaving any part of the state out. So our programs, for example, in education, is where the 260 electoral wards have a project of over ₦1 billion going on at the same time. And that's why somebody was telling me a few days ago that the amount of earth-moving equipment they've seen moved into Enugu in the last 2 years has never been experienced anywhere. And so we don't even have enough, because people who are coming here to work now would have to bring in earth-moving equipment from other states to come here and work. And then I've also just been told that hiring your artisans, the laborers in Enugu, is the most expensive state now where you can hire laborers, because essentially you have activities going on across the states. You have in each ward major projects going on. Just as we're doing the smart green schools, we're also doing the primary healthcare centers in each ward, and we're building the farm estates. So, and they all require earth-moving equipment. You have quite a lot of young people who are constructively engaged, and instead of taking to criminality as venture, you are then able to get them to generate money or generate revenue through constructive engagement.
The biannual National Convention of the Editors gives an opportunity for the media leaders to compare notes and review their activities and roles in the previous years, with a view to upholding the sanctity of the profession going forward.
The pen, they say, is mightier than the sword. Well, what about the camera and the microphone? Because a picture can speak 1,000 words. A most fundamental reason to practice responsible journalism. For Special Report, I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for watching.